Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to moddriven. Today I wanted to go through 6 things that you need to do if you're looking to trade in your vehicle. In my case, the Honda Civic back here. I'm trading it off. I actually have a car on order. I'm bringing something new to this channel. It's a Toyota Prius of all things. Can't wait to get it. It's a redesigned car. You're going to be amazed when you see this thing. But if you're looking to trade off your car, there's really 6 things that you need to do to get the most out of that vehicle. And honestly, that's what you're trying to do, right? I mean, why would you settle for less if you can get more? First of all, number 1, wash it. It needs to look clean. It needs to be clean. Very simple to do, and I'm a guy who hates to wash vehicles, right? I don't like doing it. It's no fun, but you've got to do it to get the most out of your vehicle. There is one downside to washing them, though. You might want to wash it and leave it sit outside for a day or two because dust and dirt and pollen hides little dents and dings. And the dealership is going to look for that. So you don't want to make it blaringly obvious. But if you've got a vehicle that doesn't have any of those things, like my Honda Civic, never a bad idea to have it clean so the dealership can see there's no issues with it. It's a clean car. Next up, sweep it. Clean out the inside. Nothing worse, first of all, than getting in a car that's filthy, dirty. You got to sweep it out, wipe the dust off, and you know one of the places to really pay attention to is the cup holders. Make sure that they're not full of that syrupy, sticky gunk. I don't know how many used vehicles I've gotten into over the years, and I, for some reason, pay attention to this. I look in the cup holder, and there's that sticky syrup because people have set drinks in there. They've spilled them, maybe coffee, it's got sugar in it, creamer, whatever. That stuff sits in there, your vehicle gets hot, and then it kind of congeals. It forms like a gel, a sticky, nasty, brown, ugly looking gel in there. Wipe that stuff out. All it really takes is a wet rag with a little bit of soap on it. It doesn't take long to do. You can get it out and make it look well. Also, next up, get rid of nasty smells. You don't want the person who's evaluating your car, trying to tell you how much it's worth, to jump in and the first thing that hits them is this nasty stench. Now, there's a couple of easy ways to do that. Well, there's really 3 ways to do that. 1, just wipe it down. Wipe all the surfaces off. That will get rid of a lot right there. Next up, use some Febreze. Just spray it on the carpeted areas. It makes a huge difference. This doesn't cost much, and it'll have a nice, good scent to it. And lastly, get yourself one of these little scent things to hang or stick underneath the seat somewhere. They make a huge difference. And between these 2 things, which really are very little cost, you may gain $1,000 or 2 in value. In other words, you'd lose $1,000 or 2 if someone gets in your car and it stinks. No reason to have a stinky car. Have the title. Make sure you show up with the title. 2 keys. They always ask you for that stuff. Obviously, if you don't have the title, you can't sell the vehicle. They want to know that you're serious. And if you're serious, it might prompt them to give you a little bit more money on the car because they know you're not screwing around. They know that you have that point, that tipping point, whatever it is. And if they can get close to it or maybe beat it, you're going to go ahead and follow through with the transaction. Keys are important because they're going to have to get a second set of keys potentially themselves. Those things aren't cheap, a couple $100, maybe more, depending on what model it is that you have that you're trading. Next up, no trouble lights. Don't go in there with lights blaring on the gauge cluster. Check engine light, even low air pressure in your tire lights. Any light that comes on or is on when you take your vehicle in is a bad indication for the dealership. It can show that you don't pay attention to the car. There may be other problems. Who knows? Make sure that you take care of any of that. A lot of things can be pretty simple, like the tire pressure warning light. All you got to do is put some air in your tires and that thing will go out. Pretty simple to do. Now, there's a couple myths as well, I think, people assume that are important when you take a car in to trade it. One is having all of the service records. You need to have the service records. The dealership does not care about that. They're going to bring the car in, hopefully in all cases, and change the oil and go through it anyway. They don't care if you've taken care of the car over the years or not. It doesn't make any difference to them. Having a big, thick binder full of junk, that's nice to show to the next person, maybe for the dealer, if they even hold on to it. My guess is a lot of times those binders full of paperwork, they go in the trash. The dealership doesn't want it. They don't want anybody to see that stuff, because if there's something in there that could be negative, like maybe the potential buyer, the next buyer, doesn't like that you didn't use synthetic oil. That can be a downside in selling the car. There is no importance in doing that. I know a lot of people believe that if they walk in there with some big binder full of paperwork, it's going to make their car more valuable. They're going to get more money. I have never run into that in the, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 cars that I've traded over the years. No dealership has ever asked me, do you have all of the service records? And I think if you run across a dealer who does, they're kind of using that as a tactic to work you a little bit in their pricing scheme, if you will, to kind of get your focus off of what they're doing. They don't care. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I just wanted to get on, kind of run through really 6 simple things. These are really common sense things. You know, look at what you're looking for if you're going to buy a used car. Are you going to buy a car that's got dents all over it, that doesn't have 2 keys, that maybe has check engine lights on? I mean, that would be a big no for me right away. Never would I walk out of a dealership and hand over money for a car that has a check engine light on. It can't be there. It has to be clean. Think about it. These are things that you would be concerned with yourself, right? So is the dealership. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Did I miss something? Do you disagree with me about all those service records? Leave a comment. Let me know. I'd be curious. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.